And we are back. This is Greg, the Masked Gamer, continuing Aeon Trespass Cycle 4. Hooey, the Gardens of Infinite Growth. We just killed the Midas core because I cheated. Don't care. Um, whatever. Okay, and I have reset up our overworld map here. Oops. We will show the zoomed in version of it. There's our burgeoning world map. I did find out I was supposed to do the icons on the starting tile, so I gave myself another progress for that, which brings us up to 3 out of. Ooh, I'll move that over here. Which brings us up to 3 out of here. 3 out of the 5 that we need. And here's our little bookie stuff. Little bookie stuff over there. If that's helpful for anybody, I don't know. All right. So after we've done the encounter step, we are going to move on to the advancement step where we can research new technologies, trade, craft gear, etc., blah, blah, blah. So, oh, what I forgot to do was reset the Argonauts. That's done now. Okay. Um, so in the advancement step, we first would do any research technologies that we would get from this point on the timeline. I'm not using the timeline on here. It's just not happening. We're going to use the one in the book. So on this timeline, we already did the Inwards Odyssey for this, but we do get to research a battle technology from the battle technology stuff we have. So here are the things that we've got. We've got the Babelonian lunacy sighting, which we know we don't have enough stuff to do yet. We have cinder weapons, which need cinder support. Where's the sightings for the monsters that we need to kill? Should those already be in here? I don't think it doesn't say. Let me check something. I just want to make sure I'm not missing something. No, you got to get to the level 2 battles before you start doing the stuff. So, like for me, to get this Babelonian lunacy sighting, I got to get up all the way up to the level 4 monsters already. All right, so it works a little bit differently than I thought potentially there, but we can do. We already have the cinder ranged weapons, cinder armor, cinder support, cinder armor, cinder weapons. We don't have cinder weapons yet, so we can't get this one yet. So we can get one of these, any of these 3. So the first one here is Irem Protocols. Here's the picture. Our scholars have broken the wish codes used to hide the towers in the sand. This gives us an Argo ability, action exigent emergency retraction. We can move an empty Irem tower terrain any number of spaces in a straight line, but it cannot move through other terrain tiles or the primordial. So we could have been moving things around to chase that around on the map better. And I think that's going to be very important. Oh, my board is actually ripping in the middle now. Maybe I should get the battle map. I'm just going to put that over there and pretend it's not there. Next, we have Wish Deflector. So Wish Deflector. When properly calibrated, and this will lead to gold transmogrifier and imperial deprived stockpile. Sure. When properly calibrated, Delphian paracausal shielding can provide a brief respite from the barrage of wishes. This is when a Titan becomes the target of a wish attack. Choose that Titan and they gain wish armor. Wishing you did not have to wish. I mean, we're going to do the gym next before we do a second Midas course, so we might want to consider that. And then finally, we have Cinder weapons. From the cinders of the old world, we will make a better one that will lead to some kind of armor that lets us make the Eclipse sword, which we already have, and the Burnout which we already have. But it also would give us access to 2 more weapons to make, which are the Feather Mace and the Descent Axe. So the Feather Mace is here. That's the Feather Mace, and that would give us. It would let us vault with Sun Starved, which might be useful, but I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't look that great to me. A toast to the fall from grace. The other thing would be the descent axe. This is the descent axe. A sundown has come. That's it's a +0 to hit, which kind of sucks, but it is 3 black dice. It's black 2 opening 1 with commit and cumbersome. You can use Sunbask 1 for +2 precision, Sunbask 2 for deadly, and a full miss of break 3. So I do like that one quite a bit, actually. And I do not have enough Babylonian contraptions for it. So being that I can't make it yet, we're not going to worry about that. So the question is, do we want this thing that's going to let us move the towers around, or do we want a thing that's going to help us with wish armor before we have, since we don't have a lot of wish armor stuff yet? And I get the feeling that's going to be really important with the Jinn. So we are going to take the wish deflector is what we're going to do. So we're going to go to technology here. We're going to go to project list, and we're going to go to wish deflector, and that's going to add the Imperial Deprived Outfitter to our thing. We're going to pop this in here and replace our Titan stands up one with it. And then we are going to add the Imperial Deprived Outfitter. I am looking in the wrong pile. The Imperial Deprived Outfitter, okay, to our stack. We still would need the Imperial Deprived Armorer first, which we don't have, so we're going to put that under there. And that's going to go into our little combat stockpile. All right. So now we have the ability to give ourselves wish armor twice, which is lovely. We're definitely going to need it. Okay, so we built advancements. We added technologies to our product deck. We can now use our structural technologies. Let's see if we have any that are of use where we are. Those are saves. Those are saves. Dun, dun, okay, yes, we can do Dreamwalker breeding. We can add the Dreamwalker event on the timeline 9 days from now. When we resolve this event, we will gain a Dreamwalker Titan. So 9 days from now is day 10. We're going to write Dreamwalker. Dreamwalker. Okay. That's one thing we can do. We can do Titan training, but I don't want to gain Argo Fate for that. Grafting, I don't want to gain Argo Fate for that. We can lose. Okay, we have 2 Dreamwalker Titans, so we can start to trade them in to level them up into other things. So we're going to use both Freedom Strains breeding and Spartan Strains breeding. So we're going to lose 2 Dreamwalker Titans, and 10 days from now we're going to get a Abyss Watcher and a Logic Breaker. I realized I kind of think I want these Abyss Watchers here with the Midas mechanic, because having a shield and a sword and the 2 items, I just think it's going to be very useful for us, but we'll see. So on day 11, we are going to get a Logic Breaker, Logic Breaker, Logic Breaker, and we are going to get a Abyss Watcher. And I didn't take that as one of my starting 10 because I don't know. I was stupid. I should have taken it. Okay. Then what else do we got here? We got that's no good. That's not needed. That's not needed. Okay, those are all of those things that I could have done. So moving on, we would now, I'm doing this like step by step here. Now is when I can craft gear. If I have gear that I can craft. So let's see if we can make anything of the stuff that we have. In the armory, we're going to filter this by what we have the gear for, which is which is what symbol? Oh no, that would be under production. And we're going to say only what I can make. And we're going to say only from cycle 4 and 5. So it looks like the only thing that I can make right now is the Irma's grappling hook. Really? I don't believe that for a second. I mean, it's probably true. We have 5 cursed derelicts, 1 imperial scroll, 1 Babylonian contraption. So this needs 7 scrolls. This needs. I don't even have these things. This needs 6 blackened halos. Where are blackened? That's down there. I don't even know where to get that from. What are these things? Where do they even come from? I don't know, but I can't get it. Corona Discus. We do not have the Imperial Scrolls for. No Imperial Scrolls. Burnt Out Grace. We don't have any of that. We don't have. Yeah, I guess the only thing we could buy is a Hermes grappling hook, but I already have those, so it's kind of irrelevant. So I can't build nothing. Can't build nothing. Um, oh, maybe I should have added some game changers and truth bearers instead of the things I did. Well, it's too late now. All right. Well, I can't build nothing. Cannot build nothing. So we're gonna go to the story step. Nothing is gonna happen in this story step, I don't think. No, because we already did this inwards Odyssey. Uh, so nothing happens there. And then we go to the doom step and the end step. And we now consider the tile that we are on. Ooh, we forgot to reveal that before. We now consider the tile that we are on explored in the map. And you'll see there's a little map here that mimics the map there, which helps you rebuild it later when you come back to the game. And now we're going to go on to the next day. I'm going to go north because there's nothing heading further east here, so I don't think that's going to be a direction to go in. And I want to stick. Oh, well, actually, maybe that way's better because we'll circle around in circles. Well, I don't know. No, we're going to go north. We're going to go north. We're going to reveal 62. Dun, dun, dun. And this gives us smart for us. There's a progress there. So got some progress. Okay, so we're going north to here. And this is going to be a city, so we're going to be able to do some city stuff there. Yeah. Have I messed something up with movement? Should I have not been able to go west when I went west? Did I screw something up with how movement happens in this area? It doesn't look that way because it just tells me I can move on the map here. Map directions. They have directional arrows on their backs. It might not mean anything, it says. Okay. So this is going to follow us. And then we're going to put 63 to the right and 71 to the top. So 63 to the right, 71 to the top. Still lots of cloud thiefy area here. So that is what it is. And we get a progress token. So that brings us to 4 out of 5. So maybe we can consider trying to get this like wish special thing potentially. We'll think about it. See how things go. All right. So we've gone to this space. We did the wish thing. It's a city space for later. We're going to check off number 2. There's no crafting, but we can do city space activities now, in addition to other things if we have any. I don't know that we do, but let's see here. City space. City space. I could trade some items for things, but I really just don't have enough to do that. Ooh, I can gain because I have curse exchange, so I can gain one Argo Fate to lose one Babylonian legacy thing, or I can gain one Argo Fate and one debt to get one crew back. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get one Argo Fate and one Babylonian debt to gain one crew. And now I also have to put something on this space saying that this is the last city visited. So I'm going to do that now so I don't forget later. And I need to remember where the heck I put that last city visited token. Trash that. It might be here. So Ariadne's anchor was there. Ah, found it. Last city visited is here. Okay. So that was useful. So I did all of that. Oh, shoot. You know what I didn't do? I did things in the wrong order. Before the advancement step, I was supposed to do the exploration step and draw cards from here, and I didn't because I need to use the bathroom, but I can't for the next several hours. So yay. All right. So here we have first we have the Aristotelian army, which is going to be terrible because they don't like us. Then we have the charred steps. The charred steps, which is going to give us some materials. That's our first stop. Our second stop is the shattered throne fragment, and that's going to give us some other stuff. So, first of all, with the Aristotelians, we are unfriendly, so we get one Argo Fate. Uh-oh. Okay. That gets removed for the until the next timeline battle. So we're going to put that over there. And then we're going to get one blackened halo. And two burns out grace. So maybe now we'll be able to build something. But I kind of doubt it. Then we would have done the expedition phase in which nothing happens. Then we would have done the advancement phase where we are now. And we're going to see if we can build anything. We can now build another accursed card that would let us use abyss weapons as though they were part of this cycle. But I just don't see any need for that because we have weapons that are part of this cycle. So just moving on from that, round steps, story step. And in this story step, we have a 10,000 days and nights encounter because we got that when we killed the Babylonian when we topped, did something with the Babylonian thing. There's so many words in this that are so hard to use. So we're going to turn to 144. What is the tree of knowledge? Anyway, so page 144, 10,000 days and nights. That's not it. Faded events. Alpha. Story. What's he doing? 2,000 days and nights. Alpha.
Scheherazade comes to you in a dream. Do you like stories, O Argonaut, of beauty to lift spirits, or sorrowful and full of thought to thankful feel for your own life, fleeteth as it is? Then listen. A girl is born in Persia to noblest of parents, her lifeline writ with greatness and fabulous delight, without her having to raise a finger or utter a single word. Servants, private teachers, travels, and gifts. The girl has everything. It is at that period of the empire that the breath of the Anamoi becomes more violent and unpredictable, and sometimes foul. And whenever she looks out the window of her family's tower, she sees the world below, becoming just a bit bleaker and foggier. Yet, she does not live in the world below, does she? Whenever the sight of the world below makes her sad, she looks up to the starry sky, and it lifts her spirit. The stars are beautiful and pure, and out of reach. The girl's name is Pandora, and one day she will doom the Empire. Let me tell you how.
Ah, so this is all about Pandora. So we can add a wish list battle to the timeline within 5 days from now. I'm going to reread what this nonsense mechanic is, but I feel like it's something we're going to need to do. So you can set up a wished battle. It has no consequences, but gives you practice. When you have a wish battle on the timeline, you may trigger it and proceed to a battle with a chosen primordial from this cycle, the Midas Core Demigyn, Tahaka, or Babylonian Lunacy. Do not mark any boxes on evolution adversary boss tracks. Nothing that happens gathers over. Nothing at all. They're voluntary, and it'll say you may do it within a set number of days. So I can set, so my next fight is on day 7. And I get 2 battle technologies between now and then. One of them on day 3, which is tomorrow, which would make this a very short session. And one of them on day 5. Now, what I think I want to do is this sounds dumb and it's going to make this a shorter video than I expected. But that's okay because I'm pretty much exhausted today. I am going to add a wished battle against the Demigyn. Do I have to say which one? With a chosen. No, I just have to say wished battle anything. And I'm going to put that on day 3 so that I can see what the Demigyn does before my next 2 technology things, if that makes sense. So that'll be during the story step. No, it'll be during the encounter step for that day. So this is going to be a pretty short video after all, and then we're going to have to just take a break for a few days. We're going to go on to the doom step. Nothing happens. End step. This tile becomes explored. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next day, and we're going to keep going north because I think what's going to happen, we're going to go north and then end up circling back down around. So we're going to go up to 71 here. Oop. We're not going to add the tiles around it because we're definitely not going to move again. There will be an adventure hub here that will happen. I haven't been checking these for numbers, but I doubt there would be a number this early on, but who knows? I won't notice them anyway, even if they exist, because I'm just not good at finding them. But we're gonna pop this over here. Oh, I didn't show that. It's got a little tributary on it. It's cute. That's our top. Okay. Boom. Now I'll have an adventure. There's no progress or anything like that there. We are going to check this off on the timeline, and during the encounter step, there will be a wished battle. But before the encounter step, we have the exploration step. So we're going to see. Oh, this has to keep following us. Is that's what happens? The giant thing keeps following us. We've got Odysseus's circle. Shoot. During the next movement step, move the Argo in a random direction. Move in random direction. Okay, that's going to suck. And that's gone until the next timeline battle. Oh, I'm supposed to reveal them all and then do the thing, and I didn't do that, but that's okay. We have a stop here with the charred steps again. And then we have the weight of obligations, which draws another. We have the Waster Caravan. We have the Unnamed Titan. We have, oh my god, the Wrath of the Anemone. And we have the Imperial Outpost. So a whole bunch of stuff came out of here. All right, so first off, we are on the Cloud Bearer space. We are still neutral with them. So we get 1 blackened halo for that. If we have 3 or more Babylonian lunacy, we would lose 1 crew. We have 2. Then you would lose 3. If no crew was lost, gain 1 Babylonian lunacy, Babelonian debt. So we're now at Babylonian debt 3, and this is removed until the next timeline battle. Waster Caravan, they are unfriendly with us. We gain 1 Babylonian debt. Holy crap. So now we're up to 4. We were at 1, and now we're at 4. So next time we get a chance to, we definitely need to remove some of that. We are going to get 1 Dreamwalker Titan, which we'll be able to trade in for something in a second. Wrath of the Anemoi. Randomly determine a saleable direction. Place a sandstorm token on the corresponding side of your current map tile until a new sandstorm marker is placed in that movement in that direction is blocked. And because we have Babelonian Debt 4 plus, we would resolve an adversary movement, but the adversary does not exist yet. So we determine a random saleable direction using the minor trauma deck. Oh, so we're going to shuffle that a little bit because I don't remember if I drew any in that previous battle. I don't think I did, but we're going to see what this says. And we cannot travel down because there is a sandstorm. So we need to get a sandstorm token. So we got to see a lot of the things that can happen to us here, which is I guess good. What does a sandstorm token look like? A sandstorm token. It looks like a little cyclone or a sandstorm. Because let's find it. No, that doesn't look like it. That doesn't look like it. Those are all I'm dropping things everywhere. Sandstorm token. Is that Japanese? No, there's nothing numbers. Where is this token? I don't see it. Coordinates in the back of these. Aha! Yes, got it. Sandstorm. It has had a weird Aeon Trespass sign on it. Okay, so the sandstorm token is going to go here. We cannot move through this sandstorm, but if we are forced to move through it, which we're going to be by the Odysseus thing, so if we draw down the next time, did I remember? Did I put that on the bottom? Yes, I did. So if we, well, I'm going to reshuffle. If we draw down next time, then we are going to lose a hole when we move through it, and we're also going to get crap all. Oh, it's going to be here. And we're also going to get crap all because we're not going to be able to do anything. We're not going to be able to go to that city. We're not going to be able to do anything. And that's going to just be a whole bunch of poopy, poopy, poopy. And we also got an Imperial Scroll. So we got those things. But these things we did not get. And these are all out of the way until the next timeline battle. But that was pretty brutal. But we do get to roll on our adventure expedition table. Now, what we want is a low number to continue the story that we did before and get closer to its ability. But instead, we rolled a 10. Because of course we did. I didn't take a thing that helps me with that, right? No, Curse Exchange was not the thing that helped me with that. So, yeah. So we're going to have to... Oh, let's make sure we know we're on the expedition step. So we're going to have to take number 10 on the table. Great. Which is Windfall. And this is going to put a wind-blighted fleet. Wind-blighted fleet on the inner 3 of our next timeline battle, which is not going to be that wished battle. The wished battle is just for us to see what the Demigyn does. And like, this is a good way for me to treat what I do. When we do these wished battles, I will just die horribly no matter what happens. I won't like freak myself out about it, and then I'll cheat on the real battles. It'll be fine. But I am gonna do the wished ones because I feel like that's kind of required here based on everything else that's happening. Okay, so Windfall. Windfall is page 77. Okay. So this is not going to be the same story as the other thing. No, no, no. This is going to be a different story. And it's going to have this big old, it has something to do with this big old tower. And yeah, let's get to it. Adventures, Windfall, Gamma, story, adventure hubs, Windfall, Headwind. And this is a heritage. And so does anybody have heritage? Oh, good. That's going to help me with this cursed ability, which I hate. So heritage, that's 1 for disgraceful parent and 1 for cursed. Heritage, nothing for the warkeeper, nothing for you. So only for the, oh, wait, what's yours? Nope. Only thing that helps with is Anathea, who probably won't be a returner after this, but anyway. Okay. Headwind. Oh, I hope I make it through all this story without dying. Okay. Oop, oop. Windfall, headwind. Here we go.
The breath of the Anamoy has recently unearthed the city of Bishapur, and many are racing to claim it. Rumor has it that its massive hydraulic actuation systems, those machinae that allow the city's E-room towers to retract beneath the surface, are mostly intact, a possibility tantalizing enough to draw you to the city. From afar, it looks ghastly, a sparse copse of tall, lean trees stripped of branches by a violent storm front or an impact wave. It does not endear itself on closer inspection either, though when you sail between its towers, you notice lights in many of their awnings, crisscrossing rickety wooden bridges like a fishing net left out to dry, and hear the distant chiseling sounds of construction, or deconstruction, work. Bishapur is thus not dead and abandoned. Rather, it feels like it is being brought back to life by whomever won the race to reach it.
Crash.
You drop anchor near a massive spire, squat and bulbous, akin to a water tower. People emerge, mercenaries and traders looking to do business, beggars hopeful of a boon from the city ship, priests and clerks offering their services. It is all still provisional, ephemeral, full of promise, but oh so fragile. An oil lamp's flame easily snuffed out, but with a hushed whisper. Speak sense to Hasser, someone says. Tell the wasters to move, another advises. Ashia was here first. The trade prince has first rights of empire. And a blunt fist, too. Yet here she is for us, a cloud thief that does not want to steal. Now who believes in fairy tales? Unwittingly, you have become a catalyst.
So I can do any of the following, but each only once. I could get 2 Argophate to gain 1 Priest of Dionysus. I could get 1 Babylonian Debt to get 4 Babylonian Contraptions. I only have 1 of those. Or I can get 1 Babylonian Debt to get 1 Titan, but I have so, oh my gosh, but I have so many dead already. I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna do it because I'm gonna need resources and I'm gonna regret it if I don't do it. So I am up to 5 Babylonian dead already to get those 4 contraptions. I'm not doing anything else with that though. That's all. I'm tempting fate there. All right.
2 Cloud Thieves clans are in contention for the reclaimed polis, the houses of Hasser and Ashia. The former has brought in Aristotelian allies to scavenge the ruins, their excavation operation having already uncovered many valuables and machinas. The latter is not interested in merely picking the bones of a fallen city clean. She wants to retake Bishapur whole, tower after tower after tower, restore it to its former glory, and then surpass it, and to that end has bargained for the cooperation of several nomadic waster tribes. With such disparate visions, it is plain to see that the tenuous peace will not last. While the Cloud Thieves' crews debate Bishapur's future far above, in one of the high-rises, in what they would surely call a civilized manner, on the streets below a few scuffles have already broken out between their proxies over the sole wellspring in the region, and a network of narrow kanats snaking their way between the roots of towers. The wasters are disrespecting established borders and, more importantly, safety precautions, overexploiting the kanats. Yet it is the Expeditionary Force soldiers that have you worried, for they have methodically taken control of every major access point to the water supply, as if enacting some slow-moving offensive. Are these the vanguard of some larger Aristotelian force softening the city to be taken? If they were to suddenly turn off the tap, it would surely upset the balance of power. You came here to inspect and possibly dismantle the tower actuators for parts. Now you will need to barter with those that beat you to the punch, the Cloud Thieves, while trying to untangle yourself from involvement with this land dispute.
I literally have no idea what a Qanat is. Qanat. Not a clue. But let's see what our options here are. Remembering that we are friends of capitalism. Okay. For some reason. All right. Number one, the Aristotelian commander is willing to introduce you to the trade princess Ser in exchange for military supplies. The price is acceptable, but you're hesitant to cement the expeditionary forces' hold of Bishapur because once they're entrenched, it'll be hard to remove them. We will make a deal with the Aristotelians to meet with the Ser. This would cost us, this would give us one Aristotelian diplomacy, minus one waster's diplomacy, and we would lose 6 cursed derelict resources, which we don't even have, so we cannot choose that option. Number two, the wasters will gladly bring you their portion, but may be emboldened by your show of support for her and push even harder into Hesser's territory, which in turn might force the Aristotelians to make a move. We can ask the wasters to meet with the Shia. That will give us plus one wasters diplomacy, minus one Aristotelian, and we will lose one Titan. Finally, you're not here to adjudicate, but to gain techne and knowledge, and for that you need to speak with the Cloud Thieves. The conflict brewing in the shadow of the spires will have to run its course. However, said course might lead straight through the Argo. Interesting, okay. We would have to deal with the Cloud Thieves directly, gaining one diplomacy with them, losing one with each of the others, and we would have to reap doom, and we would gain one progress. Now, I just want to see something about wished items. These wished items, how do they interact with wished battles? From now on, whenever you do battle, even if this is not used. Do not mark. Nothing carries over. Does wished gear count in wished battles? I don't think it does. I'm going to think it does. But anyway, we are going to choose that final option. So here we go. That makes us now friendly with the Cloud Thieves, unfriendly with the Aristotelians, still unfriendly with the Wasters, but getting very, very close to denounced. And we have to reap doom. Do not lose anything immediately. You have to make a loss of. We're going to get doom in 5 days. When we make that loss, we have to do a reap save. And if we fail, we will do more and more and more and more. Okay, so 5 days from now, we are going to get doom. So that is going to be on day 8. Plus 1. Oh, that's reap doom. Reap doom. And this is when you sustain that loss, make a reap gain. When does that happen? What part of the phase does this happen? It doesn't say. It just says ouch. And that means that I also make a tally mark. So I have to make a. So I also have to make a tally mark for reap. Yeah. Okay. That's 2 reap. Okay. We get 1 progress. I'm gonna put that progress on the doom card because we still need a whole bunch more doom to flip that. And if we get 3 progress on it, we can get a doomed investment tally and get that thing. Now, what's interesting here is I can't mark on the document that I have put it on that card. I mean, in the app. So we're gonna under campaign notes. We're just gonna put a note there and say 1 progress on doomed investment because we don't make a tally mark for it unless we fulfill it. Okay. I am actually going to pause this video because I really need to use the potty. So we are going to do editing on this. All right. All right. I'm back. I had to go for a minute. So we're gonna go to number 3 and then finish off this adventure hub and this day. Let's go to 3.
Engineering a meeting with the warring trade princes is remarkably easy. Perhaps the allure of trade with the city ship is too much to resist. Or perhaps they hope to persuade you to their cause. This old dangerous ruin needs to be stripped of value and quickly forgotten, says Trade Prince Hasser. Or pass to the expeditionary force. Maybe then they will leave our actual cities alone. It's not sedition you propose, Hasser. Ashia smirks. This city could sustain a thriving population, and you want to sell it piecemeal? Both of the Cloud Thieves insist that their claim to Bishopur is the legitimate one, producing stacks of scrolls and parchments showing title deeds, writs of settlement rights, and licenses to salvage and resell any goods found within the city. And every piece of paperwork you look at seems genuine. You'd meet a whole board of clerks to pick through the many layered technicalities, and the Cloud Thieves have already done that to no effective resolution. As you watch the trade princes paw through their papers, frantically looking for the one piece of evidence that would prove their ownership of the city irrefutably, one of you feels a tremor in the back of their mind. A memory, thoughts of a hoard, a secret, and the burdens it brought upon you.
The least likely Argonaut will get a Memnos card. So that is going to be Amorphoros gets the Updraft Memnos card. All right. Here goes Updraft. Carries only those determined enough. Oh, it gives an extra Hermes move. That's pretty cool. Memnos draft. This next thing that I spied ahead is not so cool.
A booming crash roars through the city. In the distance, the squat tower the Argo anchored beside begins to show cracks in its foundation, then slowly topples, raising a trail of dust as it hits the ground. The Argo is momentarily engulfed in the cloud, though thankfully was not damaged. Both Ashia and Hasser grow pale.
We have to move the adversary one step towards the Argo. If it's not on the map, spawn it. And if you haven't already, read the Broken Circle special event on page 137. So we are spawning the adversary. I mean, it's only like 4 days early. The problem is that we can't spawn it 4 spaces away from us, so it's going to be so close to us already. So we need to do this this event over here. Oh my goodness. This is going to be terrible. But let's do that, and then we're going to have to come back here afterwards. We have to come back to Windfall 3 afterwards.
You hear it in the wind, the whisper of 1,000 voices, suffocating like the dark depths of the sea. Hear me, Poseidon, dark-dressed earth-bearer. If I am your son, if you say you are my father, let Odysseus, sacker of cities and son of Laertes, never reach his home on Ithaca. Yet, if he is destined to see his friends and his fine house in his own country, may he come there late and in sore distress in another's ship, losing all comrades, and let him find great trouble in his house. After the wind comes the whirlwind, a storm front of darkness and sand, of an intensity you have never witnessed.
I am sorry, my friends.
The old priest mutters, his form diminished somehow.
It comes for me, but will take you and the ship in the process.
What is it? Asks one of you.
All my mistakes and sins taken shape and filled with malice. When it catches up to us, I will face it.
You will not face it alone, you reassure the old man.
Ah, friends.
He smiles softly.
I do not deserve you. Very well. If we are to fight it, Let me share what I was told a lifetime ago. Your journeys will at last be over when you bring a well-shaped oar to the land that knows nothing of the sea.
He looks around.
I think we've got that last part down.
Far behind the Argo, the whirlwind churns. Your minds see in it many disturbing shapes, one of which sticks with you. A coiling dragon. In its hollow eyes, the truth of your inevitable failure.
That was scary. That was a lot of rallying. We have to spawn the Dahaka 4 map tiles away from us or as close as possible, which is going to be only 3. And we add the inescapable Fate Cackle card to the exploration deck. So a bunch of terrible stuff happens. That was unexpected. Oh, man. Hold on, looking for this card to add to the deck that I didn't think was going to happen yet. Here we go. Here is our inescapable Fate Cackle card, and more importantly, what is it? What is the dog? I guess it's this thing. It's kind of slimy. Sure. Yes. Okay. I think this is the Dahaka, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think this is it. This little thing here. Let me see if I can find this sheet, and maybe that will make it clearer what it is we're looking at here. So Babelonian Odyssey. That's that. Oh yeah, yeah. This is the Dahaka all the way. This is definitely the Dahaka. Yep, that's her. So she's gonna spawn over here and start chasing us around and come kill us. I was not ready for that yet at all. We're gonna go ahead and put her on the map right here. Adversary, Dahaka. Okay. Oh wait, map here, tile info, Argo. Okay. And then we have to go back to the Adventure Hub, to Windfall, to Headwind, to paragraph 3, to, okay. This we're going to skip. We're going to skip it. And now here we are caught up to where we were.
It is impossible to tell who started it or what was the immediate cause of the collapse. An actuator failure, an ambrosia explosion, aggressive excavations, or simple overcrowding of an unstable structure. These towers are old and decrepit. The toll is grim, and there will be no peace between the Wasters and the Aristotelians, at least not in Bishopur. You get the feeling that neither of the trade princes wanted this outcome.
We note negotiation and then see 0004. So we're going to go to 0004, negotiation.
It isn't long before you start to find them. Bodies, victims of swift and brutal skirmishes. Here and there you see the two sides clashing, with the Cloud Thieves' crews trying to break them apart. A group of wasters ambushing an Aristotelian guard. A squad of mercenaries torching the makeshift shacks of the nomads. After such a long time operating alongside one another, constantly quarreling over excavation rights and the most valuable salvage, they have reached a breaking point. I never wanted this, Ashia, mutters Hasser. All this over a near-empty ruin. Then you concede? She asks with a trembling yet excited voice. He looks at her dumbfounded. This is all you can think about? No, I do not concede. Too much effort went into getting the rights to this place for us to just abandon it. It is not yours, Hasser, Ashia barks. I have collateralized every member of my family to buy this city. You understand what indentured servitude means? I will not back down. The quarrel between the two is getting out of hand, a minuscule reflection of the conflict that's already raging out there among the spires. You suspect the Aristotelians and the Wasters care not for the legitimacy of their patrons' rights. They see this place as theirs now. One wants to control and apportion, the other to consume and subsist. You need to choose a side, any side, and end this before it spills onto the deck of the Argo and out of control.
So because negotiation is noted, option 3 is unavailable. The collapse of the tower has both sides at each other's throats and no agreement can be reached. So we have to choose 1 or 2. Option 1, Hasser's Aristotelians will be able to bring and maintain order, and their limited operations in the city will allow you to scavenge the Iron actuators, the very reason you came here in the first place. But will you deliver Bishopur to Hasser or the expeditionary force? Support Hasser's claim to the city. Cloud Thieves diplomacy +1, yay. Wasters diplomacy -1, boo. Game +1 hull. It doesn't really matter to us because our hull is full. Number 2, Aishia's and by extension the Wasters' vision for Bishopur is grander and more worthy of support. Their motives are not a question here, though their means are. The Waster nomads, settlers, lack knowledge and discipline, and most importantly, moderation. Support Ashia's claim in its Cloud Thieves +1, Aristotelians -1, and 2 Argo Fate. So our diplomacy with the Wasters is worse, so we don't want that to go down more. Our Argo Fate is already at 2, which isn't great, but we can raise it to 4 and we'll be okay. So we're going to choose option number 2 and turn this thing over to the Wasters. Our Cloud Thieves are now at 5, getting very close to allied already. Our Aristotelian is -1. That brings us to -3. And we are going to get +2 Argo Fate, bringing us to 4. And we are going to go to story number 6. Boom, boom.
You deploy your titans to bring the peace.
That was my title.
You do not threaten to use force. You don't have to. The very sight of the giants, armed for war, looming over the city of tents, climbing on the outside of the E-room towers, instills, you like to think it's respect, awe, even caution. It's fear. Just like the gods of old, there is a difference, you quickly think, but then, isn't there always? And what of these beings wielded as weapons? Do they object, or simply fulfill their purpose? The Aristotelians, unwilling to lose life in a pointless battle with Typhon, evacuate the city, leaving Hasser at the mercy of his Cloud Thief rival. To your surprise, he is treated leniently and, after paying a ransom, allowed to return to his clan, along with his crew.
We are going to make a necessity tally mark. I don't know what that means, but we're doing it. Necessity 1. And we're going to then continue our story.
A beaming Ashia welcomes you to her new seat of power in the largest spire of the city, the Gilded Palace at its peak. There, she pores over a sprawl of paper spread across a table before her, the titles and licenses granted her by the Eternal Empire to inhabit and salvage within Bishopur. Thank you, Argonauts, she exclaims, after spending months securing the deeds to this city, running up so much debt with the Empire, it is a relief to finally have it within my grasp. We can do wonderful things here.
Yay!
There's a lot of work, the party leader says cautiously. You're sure your new citizens are up for it? We were all wasters once, she says wistfully. We need not be. Not everyone in the Empire thinks the same way, you know. Just because we play the game does not mean we like it. Bishopur can become a new model city. Her optimistic tone threatens to be infectious, but you cannot help hanging on to a feeling of uncertainty. It is hard enough to cultivate a garden in a desert without the gardeners quarreling over water.
Okay, so we're going to mark N3 on our choice matrix. And this is because we sided with Ashia and the Wasters in Windfall, just so that I remember what that referenced. We are going to sow progress now too. So we are going to, this is also going to be 5 days from now on day 8. So progress. And therefore we are also going to get a tally mark for sow. That's our first one. So we now have 1 sow, 1 necessity, and 2 reap. And then we're going to go to to story 8.
The Argo departs Bishapur in the evening, a forest of flickering lights. In the dead of night, you happen upon a small convoy of sand skiffs heading away from the reclaimed city. Learning that an Imperial Bablos is present among the otherwise inconspicuous traders, you get suspicious and have them brought aboard. Tagi, the Bablos, is unshakable in the face of your questioning. You recognize the name from some of the documents you were shown in Bishapur. Indeed, they were the one who represented the Empire in the transactions with the Cloud Thieves. Both of them. As you try to accuse them of playing both sides against one another, they bristle.
I do not scheme or cheat the Empire's clients,
They insist.
I sold them both exactly what they bartered for. Settlement rights for one, salvage rights for the other.
You don't see a conflict of interest? The party leader asks cynically.
Conflicts of interest drive competitiveness, and to be honest, that really isn't the Empire's problem.
Bablos shrugs.
We make tens of thousands of property transactions every day, Argonauts. Sometimes the people making those deals have conflicting plans. Sometimes they never get the chance to make use of the assets we sell to them. To make certain each parcel of land, every dust-choked ruin and God-forsaken hole, has the maximum chance of being fully exploited for its resources, we break up the rights, very meticulously. You won't find fault with our paperwork. We, Argonauts, are the ones who get the proverbial blood over the stone.
Jeez.
There is something terrifying in how the diminutive man says this, something akin to holy fervor.
Every single drop.
On the night's horizon, the Tower of Pandora, the Babelian lunacy, flickers with unnatural light. You often forget it is even there, but then it reminds you.
If the owners have a problem or a query, they can bring their case before the Court of Commerce, where everything is weighted and measured.
So at the start of the next Babylonian lunacy battle, 2 titans of choice will get +1 rage. That's nice.
You contemplate what to do with the Bablos, but what can you? They are just a cog. You send them away, a mixture of anger and disgust in your throats at their words. The Argo continues its slow journey away from the city, the desert winds howling around you, the dunes of thrice-cursed Persia startlingly cold.
Okay, and we're going to gain 1 echo of recollection, which is also probably nice. So that's going to go in our cargo hold. We've got 4 of those now, so our Argonauts are pretty safe. We're going to, in the campaign log, for under next battle notes, we're going to write next lunacy, 2 Argonauts get +1 rage, +1 rage. And that is going to then bring us to the encounter step where we're going to do a wish battle. So now we can choose if we want to do a wish battle against the Jinn or against the Dahaka. And I'm going to go against the Jinn because we're still going to try to outrun this Dahaka a little bit. But we're not likely to do a lot of wounds to the Dahaka the first time we fight it, no matter what, because it's the adversary. So this wish battle that we do the next time we play, which is probably not going to be for a week or 2, is going to be against the Jinn, and then we will continue on from there, and that will help us to decide which battle technologies and items we want to focus on. Oh gosh, and then the next time we have to move in a random direction. So it's going to have us move down and we're going to be closer to the Hawkeye and it's going to fucking kill us. It's going to be terrible. Oh well, it is what it is. Does adversaries move Which way do adversaries does the Dahaka move in this map? Does it tell us anywhere here? Because usually it says if it moves east or west first, or north or south first, but I don't think it says in this version of the map. Well, maybe it would be something about Oasis, sailing randomly, the Echoes of Recollection, the Babelonian Debt, which is terrible, Doomed Investment, Doomed Cards, I don't see anything about which direction it will move, but who really knows what it will do? Okay, so that's it. That was much less days than I expected. I thought we were going to go through up to day 7 when the next timeline event was going to occur, but unfortunately, we only went to day 3. Still took us a decent chunk of time. There's a part of me that wants to delay this wished battle. I'm going to delay it. I'm going to say that I put it on day 5 instead of day 3 because I want to get some more done this week because it's going to be a while before I get to do this again. So this is a choice that I'm making. We're going to have put it on day 5 instead of day 3. Part of the reason I put it on day 3 was because I didn't think I was going to make it and I didn't. So we're going to do some editing later instead. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. So now we go to the advancement step, and we can make both. We can train both things today. So first, we must train a weapon. So we can do the iron protocols, which let us move the towers around. We can do the weapons, which I think we've already established. We just don't have enough gear, enough stuff to make really. Blackened halos, burnt out graces. I want that descent axe. Ooh, wait. I think I can make a descent axe if I get this, and that will opens us up to Imperial Deprived Armorer, which we need to get to Outfitter anyway, and so on and so forth. And I think, or should we consider this tower thing? I'm going to go ahead and unlock Cinder Weapons as my technology. So we're going to unlock Cinder Weapons. Project list. Abilities, trade. Oh, this lets me trade all of these things. Visiting traders. Did I not see all of the visiting traders? Oh no, I do have that. I'm trying to figure out how all of this stuff is working in the app because it seems like they updated it a lot since the last time I played it as well. So there's that aspect of it. Oh, you can see what all the Argo abilities are. That's okay. Cinder weapons. We're going to make that, and that will lead to deprived armor, which we already have. This means that we are going to add a few things into our buildable store. Where's our buildable store? Is this it? No, that's stuff I have. Where did I? Oh, our buildable store I put over here. Okay. So this is going to add the Eclipse Sword, the Feather Mace, the Burnout Whip, but most importantly, the Descent Axe, which I do want a copy of. So we're going to put all of these over here. Some weapons. Okay. And this is going to go with. Then we also get to do another another technology here. So our choices. So we did Curse Exchange before. So we've got a bunch of choices now. There's still this Law Mirai, which can lower our Babylonian debt gain, which has been pretty bad. So we might want to consider that. even though that leads to some other things that I don't really know. This lets us add returners, ascenders, and dawn burners, but we have one of each of those, so we're kind of okay for now. This lets us gain one Argo Fate, lose one diplomacy, and then gain one diplomacy with the local faction and lose one Babelonian Debt. So I think I really like that right now. This will add another card to the exploration deck. We can gain debt to potentially get something good, not worth it. This list lets us use 6 mortal resources of our choice to gain 1 Argo Fate with 1 diplomacy with any faction, which will be useful later. We don't have 10 map tiles yet. We are going to go ahead and get plutocratic agents. And if we get to another town soon, that's going to help us with our faction and our debt. Yes. All right, plutocratic agents. Silly stuff over here. And that unlocked divine something or other. Divine things. Divine deals. There's not very many of these technology cards, and there is a ton of the weapon ones. So I don't know how this is all going to play out, but we'll see. But here is Divine Deals. Divine Deals. Boom. Some of the most powerful djinns of the Empire are said to be able to bend the divine itself, and this would let us. Oh, I'm not going to want this ever. Let us get a Babelonian Debt and a Doom to replenish 1 summon charge, 1 summoning, or 1 god form. So I unlocked something that's not going to be so great for me, but I feel like I need more Babelonian Debt management because things went so bad before, and that is what it is. We're going to move on to our little production armory thing. We can make a descent axe. And I really wanted to do that, and why? I really wanted this. Why did I want it? um, we're going to move some stuff around here. We're going to give the descent axe here. We're going to replace this Ember Spear with the Eclipse Sword and the Eclipse Shield. Is that true? Yeah. Because that was committed. Yeah, we're going to do that, and we're going to put this over here in our equipment pile. Yep, we're making the descent axe. And I hope I do not regret doing that. Can I use 2 different Sunbask abilities in the same thing? Do what you make before it resolves against you may remove X-Fire to apply the following ability. Sunbask is not stackable. So I can choose either +2 precision or deadly, not both. But I want those deadlies. So yeah. Okay. So I did that. Then in the story phase, nothing is happening here. So we're going to move to the end phase where we're going to officially explore that tile. And now at the beginning of the next turn, I must move in a random direction. Don't be south. North. Thank goodness. Oh, I didn't even add all of these other things onto the map because I thought I was going to stop at that point in time. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to move this later because Dahaka spawned and this spawned. Did I know the Dahaka was going to spawn before I did that? I don't know. It's too late now. This is the choice we're making. I feel like that is going to be the north tip of the map, and that's going to be the end of it. That's going to be all she wrote. But anyway, my movement is in a random direction, which is north. Yep, that sure is the top of the map. See, the top of the map. Here's our little tile. Here's our tile. Oh, I should use Persian. Here is our tile. The ravaged sunstorms of the north. This gives us yet another progress token, which I am going to go ahead and put on the doomed thing and try to get this wish item and all of that stuff. So we're going to pop that over there, which means in campaign notes, we're going to put, this is going to be 2. Oh, I know where to do this. I'm going to do it in the tally sheet instead. Add tally progress on Doom. And that's 2. Okay. That's going to have 79 and 81 next to it. So 81, 79. We're like all the way at the edge of the map here. And we're not going to go left. So what we should have done is gone up and around like this, but this is the directions that we've gone in. So that is where we are and what is happening. On the map, the Argo is going to end up here. This thing's going to follow us. Where does it have someplace for me to put the sandstorm? It does not. Tile info. No. Hold on. Over here, this is where the Argo is. Over here, there should be a sandstorm there, but I can't figure out how to put it. I'm going to write sandstorm south. Not that we'll ever want to go that way, but yeah. What is this? Oh, that's telling me I put a note there. Okay, that does something. Timeline. We've checked off number 4. And we put our progress. We looked for numbers that don't exist. And now we're going to see if the Dahaka catches us. If the Dahaka catches us, then obviously we're done now no matter what. We'll see if that happens. Okay. Dahaka's going to catch us soon because we're going to have to circle back down in one direction or another. But here, this is the Babylonian ruins, which is a Dahaka movement potentially. We've got some more Titans coming our way. This is terrible. Mounting Imperial pressure. Okay, so that's pretty bad. That is a terrible card. That's like the worst card I've ever seen. Okay, so the first stack, because now we have to worry about stacks. The first stack is Babylonian Ruins. We are in Cloud Chaser territory and we're friendly with them. So we're going to get 2 Babylonian contraptions from that. This is the second stack. And in the second stack, it says, do not gain any resources or titans from this stack. But I do think I still get this +1 rage as a group bit, which is going to go to Anathea. And I think I get that because I don't think that counts as a resource. But here's the worst part of this, which is if my Argo Fate is 6 or more and I draw this card, I have to permanently remove a random cycle 4 unique item from the game. So that right now would mean that the Auric Cloak or the Debt Guard would be permanently removed from the game forever. In addition to that, the Dahaka is going to move 1 space. We're going to let that happen for now because we are. And that was all just pretty gross. All right, so we did that. Now we are going to go on to the expedition step, but there's nothing happening there. Encounter step, nothing happens there. Advancement step. I don't think we have enough money to build anything else, and I don't think that we're in a city because those other things we wanted to do were in cities. But I do have a Persian Dreamwalker that I can trade in for something. So we're gonna go ahead and trade that in to put 20 days from now, on day 24, a game changer, because we're gonna we're gonna take a game changer with us, and those are important. Boom. Okay, so we've done that. That's the only thing that we're doing during that phase today, because I don't think we're able to make anything else, but I will double check. Oh, look, I can make another descent axe, but I have a descent axe that I want, so we're not going to do that. Round steps, advancement step, story step, doom step, end step. There is nothing else on story steps, right? That I missed? No. Okay. So now we're going to end up getting to that actual wished battle, because we only moved that thing forward one day. So we're gonna head to the east here. So I gotta remember to explore that, and then we're gonna head east and put the Argo there. Now I'm not gonna reveal any other special tiles because we are definitely gonna stop here. There's another adventure hub, so there's gonna be more to read. Okay, so we do that. This thing is now here. Maybe I think I'm gonna get one more of those and then advance that. And I think there should be enough progress to make that happen because it seems like there's progress every other space. So I'm assuming we're gonna get some on these two, but I'm not really sure. We'll see. There's a little little Argo on this card, getting pushed through the sand sea. All right, well, that's that. Boom. And we check this off. There will be a wished battle during this encounter phase before we train the next technology gear, which will influence this Demijin fight on day 7. Right? Yes. Okay. Oh boy. Let's see what we get here. Cloud Thief Skiff. That's going to be good for us. We'll like that. Shattered Throne Fragment. Here. That's stack 1. Stack 2. Gain a Titan. And Charred Steps. All very good stuff for us. We're in friendly territory, so this should all be very good. So let's see for stack 1 first. Cloud Thieves. We are friendly with the Cloud Thief, so we will get 2 Imperial Scrolls. Boom. Then we are not denounced with this area, so we're going to get 2 burnt out grace resources. And then over here, we're going to get 1 Titan and 1 more rage for the group. We're going to give that second rage to... I still don't know who you're going to be. So we're going to give that second rage to Acti over here. Fudge. Rage. And we're going to get another Titan. And then we're not denounced. Oh, we already did the burnt out grace from... No, this is... we didn't do this yet. Here we're friendly, so we're going to get 2 blackened halo resources. Okay. So we did all that. We do not get to... there is an adventure hub here, so we're going to do an adventure hub again. Watch us get the third one. That's the other one that we didn't do yet. That's going to end up taking us forever. Nope. We get another windfall. We're rolling so many freaking 10s at times that it just doesn't matter, really. But it is what it is, what it is, what it is. So we're going to go to 10, which is page 77. And continue the story of this town. And I should roll this in here, not on there. 8, that's going to give us the Tragedy of Koth. So in the Fated Events box, we're going to check off Tragedy of Koth. Over here, Tragedy of Koth. And that is Tragedy, which makes sense. So with tragedy, we can choose between unearned life and updraft. We're going to work on updraft because that's the newer thing. We don't get anything for her. We don't get anything here. We get the third wish for Akastafios. My dogs are going a little crazy in the corner, and that's fine. Okay, Tragedy of Koth. Venture Hubs. Windfall. Tragedy of Koth. Here we go. This should be shorter because it's one of the like mid story points of this.
From a distance, the palace city of Kath glimmers like a jewel. They always do. Up close, it tells a different story of strife and violence and a sudden end brought about by the Midas curse. The last moments of the polis, trapped in gold. Once busy streets are littered with waster corpses, Aristotelian soldiers standing over them with swords drawn, their crimes immortalized for all to see, forever. Here and there, an opulent Cloud Thieves mansion is rendered in meticulous detail in high-grade gold, a dramatic scene of looting, the waster mob carrying out valuables, and the residents themselves, the latter screaming, a visage of fear petrified on their beautiful faces. Kath was doomed before the Midas curse struck, although whether the two events were connected, you may never know. Not every building was gilded, and in one of the few that wasn't, a colorful taverna by the main thoroughfare, a lone mortal sits, sipping on distilled wine. Strangers, at the end of the world, there is finally time to enjoy a drink. Who did this? You can only ask. Who indeed? They gesture to the empty cushions. They are all empty, you suppose, and continues. The Cloud Thieves of Kath have been making a killing for some time. He does not wait for you to get comfortable. The tale spills forth, raring to be told. They had been selling steaks in a half-sunken ruin in the deep desert, the lingering remnant of an old ziggurat said to be brimming with treasures beyond imagining, there for the taking for anyone clever enough, brave enough, industrious enough, to buy the overpriced steaks and go dig. The ruin was empty, cleared long ago, or never of any value to begin with, and the Cloud Thieves knew it. Still, Kath had an endless supply of the hopeful and the ignorant, and most importantly, the desperate, so there was no shortage of buyers. Thus, the Cloud Thieves sold the steaks to the wasters of the polis, who had quickly, but not quickly enough, realized they'd been scammed. No returns. Wasters, looked down upon as they were not altogether devoid of business sense, and although they could not hold a candle to the Cloud Thieves, they could certainly bargain with someone else. The stakes, now adorned with exaggerated promises of fabulous treasures, Babylonian weapons and armor, were offloaded to an Aristotelian outfit, looking to use the weapons to eradicate the presence of Cloud Thieves, whose trade activities they saw as an affront to the Golden Mean and in support of the greedy empire. When their expedition had reached the ruins at great expense, there was nothing but dust, bones, and false promises. Violence followed. So you tell me, strangers, who is to blame?
So this is tricky, this choice that's coming our way. So, number one, the Aristotelians peddled in violence, first when they set their eyes on attacking the Cloud Thieves unprovoked, then massacring the wasters. You saw those scenes in the streets. In retaliation for taking a bad deal for which they're solely to blame, the Aristotelians, they turned an unfortunate deal into violence. We would get -1 with Aristotelians, subtract 2 Argo fate. And our Argo fate is at 4. Next, the Cloud Thieves started all of this by knowingly passing on worthless stakes in the ruins to the wasters. They peddled in dreams, exploiting the weakest party. Their manipulation has spiraled out of control. The Cloud Thieves dressing up exploitation and lies as business. That will lose us a Cloud Thieves, which is important to us, but it also will lose us a Babelonian Debt, of which we have a massive 5. Next, we have the wasters following their avarice found themselves on the wrong end of a bad deal. And instead of going back to the Cloud Thieves, they tried to recoup their investment by tricking the Aristotelians into more lies. The wasters, the mix of their greed and timidness, making them at the same time victim and perpetrator. That will bring us all the way down to denounced with them, but it will give us 1 progress and get us that wish thing that we need. But I think we're going to get 2 more of those here very quickly. So I'm not concerned with that. I'm actually going to go ahead and let our Cloud Thieves go back down because that very high Babelonian debt is not good, so that we can reduce that. And we're going to go to 50. Ooh, yes, I know. We're capitalists, we're capitalists, we're capitalists. And then I was like, okay, we're not capitalists anymore because we're too much in debt. Oh my God, it sounds like my life and my credit card debt. Look at that. Amazing. They figured it all out.
The mortal sets their glass aside, looks deep into your eyes, and says, "No, you're wrong."
Rude.
A smile of mild satisfaction flashes on their lips. "You see, I have misled you." They fix their gaze on their empty glass, as if expecting it will magically fill up. "I withheld information, making you think there were only 3 options. It is easy to create an illusion that way."
This lady.
Your patience with the stranger is wearing thin. "We have philosophers on the Argo."
The party leader gains +1 rage, who I said if I don't declare who it is, it's amorphous, so that's who it is.
"I assure you, I am a practitioner, and a skilled one at that. What I failed to communicate before is that the Cloud Thieves got the stakes to the ruins from the Eternal Treasury. Were paid in those stakes, in fact, for services rendered, causing them to suffer an effective loss if they did not manage to pass them forward quickly. The Aristotelians, their supply lines are stretched thin, and, however they abhor it, out here they must rent their services for supply and transport. Do you know who put out the bounty on the Cloud Thieves pirates through a third-party intermediary? Oh, irony. The Eternal Empire. And what of the waster population, squeezed by a sales tax on one end and rising costs of living on the other?" The stranger scoffs. "Should the Cloud Thieves have swallowed the loss, hoping it would not take them under? Should the Aristotelians have starved in the desert? Should the wasters have allowed themselves to be saddled with debt and taxes for life, while others profit from their weakness? Who should take the fall?"
It says choose, but CHOOS ... So it stops you from making a choice in the instructions box.
"Do not answer that one," they add quickly, "for as evident as the answer is, it is not the right question. The deeds are done, the river of gold has run its course. Each actor played their part. Kath is no more." They look at you, a featureless expression on their face. Which of us, dwellers of the desert, should have risen up to prevent this?
So I have 3 choices yet again. The first is, as far as you can tell, the Cloud Thieves have the most means and acumen to resist the Eternal Empire, maybe even beat it its own game, but would a world created by them be that different? The Cloud Thieves should have. That would give us +1 Cloud Thieves, but +2 of the debt that I just can't afford to get more of. Next, the Aristotelians are already on a crusade to topple the Empire, and although their methods can be questionable, they are dedicated to their cause. Maybe too dedicated. Their rule may swap gold for red. The Aristotelian should have, that's +1 with them, but +1 Doom, which I could try to do a save roll on. Feels very early to get another Doom, so I don't really want to do that. And the Wasters are as numerous as the grains of sand in the desert. If they stood up and willed it, they could change the Empire overnight. But they didn't because they lack drive and cohesion. Can things ever change? The Wasters should have. If I say that, I get +1 with the Wasters, getting them a little bit further from that denounced mark, but I do lose 1 crew, but I got a crew back before, so I feel okay with doing that. So we're going to go ahead and say that the Wasters should have done this, bringing our crew down to 4. Do I have a crew saved? Let me check that real quick before I do that. We're about to name that, we're about to use that, we're about to do this. We're done with that. When you're about to about to paddle. Oh, you know what I forgot I could do? That I could put an Argonaut's name and get them more memo stuff. And I should have done that for, I think it was her that I wanted to, who gets like all fire stuff. Ah, We didn't do it. We're not doing it until the next one. Okay. Is there any way for me to avoid crew loss? Crew loss. I get the feeling this scenario is going to really hit us on crew. This cycle is going to really hit us on crew, but this is still the choice we're making, and we're going to 49.
The sun slowly goes down over Cath, painting the gilded palace domes with all kinds of violets and crimsons. I don't know, they say after a moment. We have been exploited and marginalized to the point of embracing our supposed insignificance. I don't know what we do with that kind of power. Change the world, or wish for shiny baubles and dappled robes. A scout comes up to you with news. The Midas score that hit this palace city is coming back. To finish the job? Seeing it missed but one survivor, it might seem like a waste. But then again, in the Eternal Empire, no expense is spared. You urge the mortal to leave with you, but their mind is set. Their world is gone, and they're not looking for another. As you leave, you ask them who they are. No one of import. A waster, chasing a childish dream to score big and retire, who got caught up in schemes far beyond his understanding.
So I can gain one Sisyphus tier, but I cannot gain any Sisyphus tiers or use them because I freed Sisyphus, which was the right decision, or I would have had a big trouble in the previous thing. But we are going to now return to the voyage phase, which brings us to the encounter step, which will be a wished battle against the Demigin, which will be the next time we play, whenever that is. So until then, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and whatever you do, keep those health bars full. Thank you and have a great day.